The first time I offered a Western friend a drink at my house, I expected him to say no thanks a couple of times first, just out of politeness. So when he immediately said, "Yes, please, I'd love an iced coffee," I honestly froze for a second. I thought to myself, wait, you're not even going to pretend to refuse? Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. If you're new here, hi, I'm David Ha. On this channel, we explore cultural mindsets, everyday communication, and what it really feels like to navigate different worlds through the English language. Growing up in Asia, there are so many social habits that felt completely normal to me. But the moment I started hanging out with foreign friends and speaking English every day, I realized some of these habits can be pretty shocking, or at least very confusing to people from Western cultures. So today, I'm sharing 5 Asian habits that blew my Western friends' minds. Let's dive right in. Habit number 1, refusing things you actually want. In many Asian cultures, especially in East and Southeast Asia, it's considered greedy or rude to accept an offer immediately, whether it's food, a drink, or a gift. The polite script goes like this. Person A offers. Person B says, "No, no, please don't trouble yourself." Person A offers again. Person B says, "No, really, I'm fine." Then on the third try, you finally say, "Well, okay then, thank you so much." Well, when I tried this with my American friend, I learned my lesson fast. She offered me a slice of cake. I said, "Oh, no, I'm okay." And guess what? She said, "Okay, cool," and put the cake away. My heart broke a little bit in that moment. I realized that in the West, people take your no literally. If you say no, they respect your boundary immediately. Habit number 2. Asking personal questions right out of the blue. If you've lived in Asia, you know that older relatives or even casual acquaintances will walk up to you and say, "Have you gained weight?" Or "Why aren't you married yet?" Or "How much money do you make?" To Westerners, these questions sound extremely invasive, maybe even downright rude. But in Asian culture, this isn't meant to insult you. It's actually a sign of intimacy and care. Asking, "Have you eaten yet?" or commenting on your appearance is just our way of saying, "I notice you, and I care about your well-being." I had to explain this to a friend from the UK who was horrified when an Asian elder asked him his age and salary within 5 minutes of meeting him. Habit number 3, saying yes or maybe when we actually mean no. Asian cultures are deeply high context and focused on harmony. We hate confrontation, and we hate making other people lose face. So, if someone asks us to do something we can't do, saying a direct, hard no feels almost violent to us. Instead, we say things like, "That might be a bit difficult," or "Let me think about it," or we just nod politely. To us, that is a no. But to my Western friends, "Let me think about," it literally means there is a chance. So they would wait for my answer. While I was sitting there thinking, didn't you realize I was saying no? Learning to say a clear, polite no in English was honestly one of the hardest things I had to learn. Habit number 4, the strict no shoes in the house policy. Now, I know some Western households take their shoes off too, but in Asia, this is non-negotiable. It's almost a sacred rule. You step across the threshold, shoes come off immediately, and you put on indoor slippers. When I first watched Western TV shows or movies where characters jump onto their bed wearing outdoor sneakers, I felt physically uncomfortable. I was thinking, who is going to clean those bed sheets? When Western friends visit an Asian home for the first time, seeing a mountain of shoes at the front door is always a funny culture shock moment for them. And finally, habit number 5, fighting for the restaurant bill. In Western countries, splitting the bill going Dutch is completely normal and expected, especially among friends. But in many Asian cultures, paying for the whole table is a matter of generosity and honor. In fact, if you go out to dinner with Asian friends, you will often see a literal physical fight at the cashier over who gets to pay. People will hide the check, push each other's hands away, or secretly walk to the counter during the meal just to pay early. My Western friends were terrified the first time they saw this. They thought a real argument was breaking out, when in reality, it was just people fighting to be generous. At the end of the day, none of these habits are right or wrong. They're just different ways of showing respect, care, and connection. I'd love to hear from you now. If you're from an Asian culture, which of these habits do you still do? And if you're from a Western country, which one surprised you the most? Drop a comment down below and let's chat. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps this podcast grow. Thank you so much for listening today. Keep practicing your English, stay curious about the world, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.